My name is Buddy Shuh, and I am a current contestant of NBC's show Biggest Loser, season 13. 6 months ago, when I showed up on the show, I weighed 403 pounds, and I was the biggest person on the ranch for season 13. My weight gain story probably started to show up big time about 7 years ago. My wife and I went in for an ultrasound for our second child. And at the 20-week ultrasound, when we went in just to find out the gender, we found out much more than that. We found out that our daughter was missing several internal organs, and she had a very severe case of spina bifida. Doctors only gave her about a 60% chance of survival, even to birth. And after that, it was pretty grim. So, a couple months later, our daughter was born, and this was in 2005, and September 30th, and we went through a rough patch at that point, and that's when I started gaining all my weight. I put on at least 100 pounds since that time, and wound up on the Biggest Loser with all my weight gain. But the tragedy kind of continued as my daughter got a little bit slowly got worse and worse, and after 10 brain surgeries, her body finally gave out on March 8th in 2006. My wife and I were there in the room when our daughter Isabella passed away, and at that moment I remember thinking that was the toughest moment of my life. And but shortly thereafter there was an even tougher moment. We had to go later that same day to a funeral director and plan the funeral of our own daughter. And this is just something that you would never plan, you would never know how to do. And you have so many emotions and shock going through that it's just a horrible thing. And when I sat down with the funeral director, they were being super nice and really helping me out in many ways. But the bottom line was it was going to cost $1,500 to bury my daughter. And at that point, I had no money. And I remember saying, this is now the worst moment. I had to sit through my daughter's death. And now here it is a couple hours later, and I can't even pay for my own daughter. I can't even do that. I can't even provide as a father for my own daughter to be buried. And it was just a horrible moment. It's hard to describe what that feels like. My family and friends and church came to my rescue. They wound up paying for it. It was $1,500, and I can't tell you what a blessing it was. It was just an incredible act of love at my most desperate hour. And shortly thereafter, in my heart, I was thinking about how big of a blessing it was and saying, I really would love to start an organization that did something like this. I would love to help other people who find themselves, because nobody plans for their child to pass away. Nobody has the money for it. And I would love to help people out and raise funds. Well, I didn't know really how to go about it, and I was kind of stalled out. And then through The Biggest Loser, I came to find out about a foundation in Washington called the Tears Foundation. And it's exactly what I had in my heart. It's a foundation that goes to parents who have lost a child and don't have money, and they pay for caskets, and they pay for grave markers, and they pay for grief counseling. It's exactly the kind of help that I know these people need and that I want to help provide. It's for this reason that I'm going to be a spokesperson and really try to promote all that the Tears Foundation does. So, join me in helping the Tears Foundation to really save and help and change lives for bereaved parents.